gives me great pleasure to introduce her, the Reverend Sharon Flynn. We've known each other for quite a few years, been friends for quite a few years, and done quite a few things together. And Sharon is also a minister with the Metaphysical Chapel of Life, and she's been a member since 1994. In 1999, she became a novitiate minister through the Metaphysical Chapel of Life. And in 2002, she was fully ordained under the auspices of our charter church, the Church of Enlightenment. Sharon has owned and operated hypnosis and healing centers since 2002, some locally here and some in other areas. And she's been using her gifts and abilities as a spiritual director and consultant, an advanced energy healer, a certified hypnotherapist, and a teacher of classes and workshops. Sharon's prior career in the medical field as a radiological technologist of 25 years helped shape her natural healing abilities and understanding of the human form. Here at the chapel, she is a minister who oversees spiritual healing, as well as teaches spiritual healing classes, and also facilitates seasonal celebrations at the chapel. She has experienced several NDEs, as well as numerous expanded spiritual experiences that have guided her on her path of alternative healing modality and facilitating change and soul growth for others. She is blessed with 3 grown married children, 2 sons and a daughter, with 3 grandsons and 1 granddaughter. Everyone, let's welcome the Reverend Sharon Flynn.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you, Bill. I'm very honored to be here to talk today. I always start off with prayer, so let us pray. Father, Mother God, Heavenly Creator, I ask for the connection to be made to the higher self. And as we connect, we invite and invoke the presence of the angels, the guides, the masters, and all loving beings of the light. I ask that I be guided with these words, with this connection to all of you to help bring up more understanding of that connection. And I ask that this be done for the free will, for the good of all, in the Christ light, in the Christ name. Amen. So I would like to start off with going back to the universal laws. One of our connections that we are responsible for our own spiritual progression here on this at this time. Everyone is. So that's our goal in life, is we all want that connection if you are so in tune to connect, on a spiritual level. So in order to literally create that connection or go through the spiritual progression, we have that responsibility, and it needs to be honed in, if you would, on a regular basis, every day, meditation and all of that. So this is like a little precursor to my talk. I'm going to talk about something that I listened to the other day. And one of my spiritual teachers is Wayne Dyer. Bless him. His stuff is just off the charts. It's still wonderful to listen to him and get, inspired by his work. So on one of the YouTube videos, it's the 4 hidden secrets that will change your life. And since he worded it so well, I'm just going to quote this little quote that he had. And Wayne Dyer said, "No matter what kind of anger comes directed towards you, no matter how much hate you may encounter that is showing up in your life, there is no justified resentments." Meaning that if you carry around resentment inside of you about anything or anyone, I mean, like the person who walked out on you and left you for somebody else. I'm talking about the person in your life that you lent money to that never paid you back. I'm talking about the person that you feel was abusive in your life. I'm talking about all things that you have justified in your heart and in your life that you have the right to be resentful about. I'm suggesting to you that those resentments will always end up harming you and creating in you that sense of despair. And that's the end of the quote. I just feel like I have to read that again. There's so much in that. So I'm going to say it again because there's definitely something in there that I'm being guided to read again. All right, so Wayne Dyer said, no matter what kind of anger comes directed towards you, no matter how much hate you may encounter that is showing up in your life, there are no justified resentments, meaning that if you carry around resentments inside of you about anything or anyone, I mean, like the person who walked out on you and left you for somebody else. I'm talking about the person in your life that you lent money to and has never paid you back. I'm talking about the person that you feel was abusive in your life. I'm talking about all of the things that you have justified in your heart and in your life that you have the right to be resentful about. I'm suggesting to you, resentments will always end up harming you and creating in you that sense of despair. End of quote. I believe that this is a very, very empowering viewpoint. When we hold on to resentment, it shows up in different ways in our life. You'll attract people or situations where you'll either be angry, or they will be angry, or you'll be angered by them, or mean-spirited, or resentful. You'll find that someone will cut you off in traffic, or you'll have a conversation that ends in anger. And you'll notice that people, when you carry resentment, people treat you differently. So how can we change those vibrations? Because they are a vibration. We are all vibrations. And connect to something that will help us to overcome that type of vibrational energy. So there's basically the four hidden secrets were in this video is don't blame yourself. Don't hold resentment for yourself or others. Don't blame others, and think positively. Well, that sounds pretty simple. That sounds pretty easy to do. But it always is challenging everyone all day long, throughout your day, throughout your thoughts, okay? So each one of us has a mission here on this earth. It's the same mission for everyone. It is to understand that you are emitting a frequency, and that frequency is always going to be reflected back. This one mission that everyone is here to do is to know and be the vibration of love, period. That's it. Super simple. Not really. Nothing more. So we're here to have that vibration of love, emit that, create that, connect to that. And that's it. That's all we're here to do. Nothing more and nothing less. But how do we know? But how do we get out of our thinking of the lower vibrational thoughts and raise it to a higher vibrational thought? Well, first, the connection to your thoughts would be easier if you actually went in to your feelings, okay? So your senses has a way to go beyond your thoughts. So going into those feelings, locate them in your body. That's what meditation, that was a beautiful meditation, Bill, by the way. That meditation can get us out of the ego mind and help us to feel the heart center. I call it the heart mind, because the heart mind is going to be the one that guides us everywhere from now on. Back in the day, there was a book called the MAP program, Medical Assistant Program. And that was by, what was her name? I think her last name was Wright. You would have to look up Nature Spirits to get to that. But this book was, I guess, published back in, might have been the 80s or 90s. And one one of the techniques that I really, really, really like that program showed us is to actually go into a meditation, about a 20-minute meditation every day, and actually hold your attention to your body, and just focus on the body. And if you notice any differences in, maybe you feel like a brush or like you asked for the highest beings to come in and to influence you. And when you're laying there, you may feel, like a tap on your head. You may feel a brush on your face, on your arms, on your legs. And when we put a lot of attention into being aware of the different parts of our body, different temperatures or different vibrations that are coming in, that will kind of program a new way of thinking or a new way of being. So the second thing I think is going to be real helpful is to actually think less. Just have little thought. And you can do that a lot of times when you're just doing the dishes or doing laundry or even cleaning. You don't have to have lots of thoughts. So it's really about looking at, just allowing your thoughts to come in and go out, and not particularly paying attention to, the things aren't working in your life, or, the frustrations, the resentments, things that you hold a grudge over. So, or you judge, because judgment and resentment form, that energy. So think less and be more. Having a still, quiet mind as often as you can. As I always say, operate out of your heart mind, and we have to retrain our mind. Remember the movie, What the Bleep Do You Know? That's a great movie. That actually great point in that movie. If you haven't watched it, I encourage you to look at it, and it's worth the time. It's on YouTube. So that whole movie is about retraining your mind to think more positive, to hold that vibration more and more. So one of the things that resentment and judging ourselves is, what I've noticed is that everyone doesn't really see their own worth. So why is it that we devalue who we are? Why is it that we don't see our own worth and our own value? Why do we pass it on to the next generation? We learned it from the generations before us, and they passed it on from one to the other. So we are all here to learn about ourselves through each other, and we're all like a big projection or a mirror that projects what we don't like about ourselves into situations, into relationships, and into circumstances. So there's always something there to actually pay attention to, but we're going to pay attention to it as understanding of ourselves or lessons of ourselves. So to think less, be more. The most important word in those four words are be. So because we already are love, because we already all are all those positive, lovely vibrations. So that's the goal, is to focus more and more on those. So we have to do is focus on our beingness. When we are being ourselves as an authentic self in place of peace and a place of connection to the source through the heart mind, we're just naturally able to feel our feelings and understand what circumstances that are in our lives are there to help us understand our lessons and to judge ourselves and others much less. So when you think about something somebody did, or some certain circumstances that have occurred in your life, you got to jump over those feelings and go in and back in within and learn what it is that those feelings, maybe they were kept hidden. Maybe it was something that was brought forth in your childhood. You know, the lessons come from these circumstances. The lessons come from the situations that we can look within ourselves. So, and when we start to judge it, we get more of that judgment. We get more of that. And it's really ourselves that are judging ourselves, or judging what we did or what we didn't do. So I do believe that we have an amazing potential to use intention as a source of complete focus to create our reality. So in other words, when we pre-create our day, when we pre-create how we want to feel through the day, in the very beginning of the day, and you want your day to flow, you want your day to, you know, just go in the way, you know, you got your work to do, or you got your things planned, see them all going smooth. If you travel, see the travel going smooth. You just want to pre-create and use your feelings to pre-create your day, because they're much stronger, much stronger now. So as we focus on our pre-created reality, it's going to occur. The more you do it, the more you create it, the more it comes to fruition. So I think one of our goals is to actually allow ourselves to be vulnerable and to feel those feelings, and to understand that these feelings are little pieces of homework. I call it homework, or instead of lessons a lot of times. And the more that you do your homework, you look at your feelings, you feel your feelings, and you let go of that judgment or that resentment or blame, the more you're going to become more spiritually progressed in this life. You're heading toward enlightenment. And to me, when I say enlightenment, I feel like enlightenment means that you are holding more light of that vibration of love. So I look at all that homework, and we collect it, and we understand ourselves more. It's like getting a master's degree, really. You're mastering yourself and your thoughts and your mind, and creating a whole new reality for yourself. And this is where we have to go. We have to go toward that now. This ascension process that we're experiencing is pretty severe. I mean, it's ramped up. The energy is very ramped up. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of people are feeling lost and not sure the circumstances in our life or what they have been wanting. You know, they want to change things and they want to move forward. That's because we're going toward more light and holding more light. But we cannot take that resentment with us. We cannot take all of those judgments with us. So I want you to think of yourself as a wonderful potential to do all these wonderful things that you love to do. That's what's coming. We're going to have the ability and the availability to do the things that we came, our gifts, our strengths, our all the things that we love to do. That's where we're heading. Opening our heart mind, operating out of the heart mind, and operating in a higher vibrational frequency. So as you master your thoughts, and you know, the thoughts, they are energy. They're not random. And so use them intentionally, use them to create what you want. So as we use those senses to go beyond our thoughts, so you're basically, if you can set something up every day into a meditation, or to do your household chores, just, you can do the dishes without having a thought. You can put on a piece of music. You could, you know, just focus on other things. I use my singing bowls a lot of times in my healing sessions. And one of the things that I do is, when I sense that somebody's got a busy mind and they're not slowing it down, I put them in a kind of meditative state. But initially I get them to focus on the sound of the bowl that I just hit it once. And that bowl, that singing bowl will just hum for about 2 minutes. And I ask them to just focus on that sound until you can't hear it. Now that's a wonderful way to retrain your mind to hold less and less thoughts. When you go into the body and you go into that peaceful state, like out in the sun, you sit in the sun and you feel the warmth of the sun coming in, and you just focus on your breath in and your breath out, and you can feel everything, your mind quieting and still. So the more you quiet your mind, the more still your mind can go, the quieter your whole life will be, and in a wonderful, wonderful way. So only if you had, those running thoughts of, why did this person do this? Why did that person do that? And keep going through that. I call it like a hamster wheel. You just go around it and go around it and go around it. When you realize you're doing that, you just stop. And sometimes it's helpful to even go to count 1, 2, and 3, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you shift your thought pattern. So that's another way that we can achieve less and less thoughts. Another way that is very, very helpful is positive self-talk. You use that as when you're aware of judging yourself, you say one negative thought. When you catch yourself saying that one negative thought, you say 2 positive thoughts on top of that. And when you do that, you're creating a new highway of thought. Okay. So, it takes a while. It takes a while. Be patient with yourself. Give yourself those affirmations of, you are radiant, of, radiating out love, or you radiate peace, or you're radiating out this energy that can help people. One of the things that I notice a lot of people when they don't like their job, and they come in and they complain about their work. And, one of the things that you can do is to actually see that you're the light in this workplace. You're the light in this, you're of service to others, and do your best job that you can do. Be your best person, best you. So when you see yourself having value, then everybody else is going to see your value, but also you're setting up yourself to give this love, to give this vibration to everyone, and it could be like you go to a family function, and, in the past you dread it, and then go in there and see all you're going to do is share your light with others. You're going to give people compliments. You're going to, just allow people to be them, whoever they are. But you are then radiating that love out. So as you become that beacon of light and emit the light enough for yourself and others, that radiance of love frequency just multiplies everywhere. They have a lot of those frequency, it's video frequencies that you find on YouTube. And the one that I really like is, it's no particular one that I listen to. I just always get the one that's 528 frequency. And that is the frequency of the heart. And that's the frequency of love. So just to wrap this up, if you can realize that when you find yourself blaming yourself, find yourself holding resentment for yourself or others, or blaming others, that needs to be changed. It needs to be changed bit by bit, piece by piece, and create more positive thoughts. See what's within you that needs to be looked at in certain circumstances, and see yourself as this beacon of light as I said before, we're moving into a higher frequency earth. And that is the frequency of love. And we cannot move into it until we release as much of those lower vibrations and as many of them as you can, and to stay, you know, in that place of peace as much as you can. It's you put out a lot of effort to do that, but the reward is just outweighs everything. You just raise up everybody's place every place that you go, everything that you do, every word that you say, everything is going to be raised up to a higher frequency. And it's like a wave. So let's imagine 100 people holding that vibration, and you go somewhere and you would affect another 100 people and another 100 people. So it's our job. It's our job to be that frequency of love and be the beacon of light. And this is an exciting time. It's a very exciting time because that's why we all chose to come here at this time, because everyone here is holding that vibration and affecting change in this world. And you're super important to this world. You're going to be the guides to help all other people go into this frequency, this new frequency, this new earth. So I want to send blessings of love to every one of you, and to hold you in the light, and to realize how important each one of you are. So many, many blessings, and sending you love. Thank you.